How are we doing today, folks? Today we're going to be going over some case questions, Brainteaser guesstimates. We're going to go over 3 questions, one of each of those to prepare for a case interview. So I guess we'll just jump right in. We'll go with the harder style of a business case. Our question today is going to be, you're consulting for a company that is intending to launch a new product or expand into new markets in order to increase revenue. How would you help this company achieve its goal? Discuss the steps that you would take. So, my initial thought process of expanding a business is there a market that needs it, and where's the location? Are we moving cities? Are we moving to a different location in the same city where people might know your brand name? Is this a larger company? What's the competition that we're looking for? Are we building a chicken sandwich stand and there's a Popeyes and a Chick-fil-A right next door, right? So what's our level of competition? So we're talking location, competition, market need. That's just some basics for, are we going to expand and where are we going to expand to? Another big topic is the cost. How much is it going to cost us to open a new store? And what is our profit margin currently, and what are we going to expect it to be with a new store, right? So have we produced enough profit with the location or locations that we already have? And adding another location, what is the point that we break even on our costs, right? So our break even point, we're going to talk about. So how much does it cost to open this new business? And at what point do we make our money back for opening the new location that it's worth it? Is it going to take us 5 years? Is it going to take us 1 year? Is it going to take us 2 years? So how long until we break even? That's a pretty big one. I also think there's a lot of smaller things that needs to be discussed when trying to open up a new location. It can usually be very profitable, but you're gonna have to do training. We need to start doing training now before we even have this new location. So that's going to be added in, an additional added in cost. So we need to make sure we train managers that can go and help open the location. If you're going to do store opening, you can do staff training there, but you have to at least have some higher management prepared to take over a location. So training might be a factor there. One other inside the business thing that I would talk about is, what are we going to change? If we open up a new location, what works well of how we designed the inside? So if we're talking again about like a chicken sandwich store, shop, stand, whatever you want to call it, what worked well? Did we have our takeout window and order window separate? Is the layout good? Could we improve it? Would there be a different way that we have experienced in our current market that we think could be laid out better? Are we opening it in something like a stadium or an airport where we might need to look at price differences? So subtle changes or price adaptation, I think, are all things that would have to be considered. The main ones are going to be the location. Where are we opening this location? Is it going to be on a street corner? Is it going to be in a grocery store? What's the local competition like? Is the product that we're going to be selling something that people would buy in that location? So these are all things that would be discussed on how we would help this company achieve their goal, to make sure that we can make enough profit and revenue to break even on the cost of opening up a new store. That's huge. Otherwise, it's not worth the time and effort and the risk to open up a new location. That's our business case there. Things that we would help decide on how to open up a new and expanding portion of their business. All right, moving on, we're going to do a guesstimate. And our question here today is going to be, what volume of beer is sold at an average LA Lakers basketball game? Sometimes guesstimates can be really hard if you don't have a little bit of background knowledge, knowing the population of a state or country. So I did check out the capacity of an LA Lakers basketball stadium. And that number is a pretty round number. It was 20,000 people. I do believe that the Lakers are pretty popular. So if we're trying to figure out how much beer is sold at an average Lakers game, we're going to have to figure out the amount of attendees. So we're going to give them a 85% attendance. I don't know if that's high, low. I'm not quite sure, but we're just guesstimating here. So we're going to do 85% of 20,000 total available seating. That leaves us with 17,000. 18,000 would be 90%, and 16,000 would be 80%. So 85% is going to be 17,000 attendees. All right. Now we got to guesstimate the average beer quantity that's sold. I believe at sporting events, people can get a little crazy. Some people drink 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4, and they sell them in those big beers, right? We're talking like 24-ounce cans. But there's also kids that go, people who don't drink. So I'm gonna estimate about 1.5 beers per person. I think that's very reasonable. Some people go in there and drink 3 or 4. Some people don't drink at all. So we're going to do 1.5 beers per person. So let's do some quick math. Half of 17 is 8.5. Add that together and we get 25,500. So that would be 25,500 beers sold in a stadium. The stadium's pretty big. I think that's fairly reasonable. Might seem a little high. I'm not quite sure. I don't do the ordering for these places at the stadium. It would be a very intense job, I imagine, trying to figure out how much you're going to sell in that large capacity. So if we want to break this down even more, trying to figure out the volume, we're guesstimating that there's about 25,500 beers sold. So if we take that and we multiply by the ounces of 24-ounce beers, we give them the big boys, charge a lot for them. Let's do a quick little calculation here. And I got 612,000 ounces of beer. This is ounces. Okay. 612,000 ounces. It's a lot of beer. We can even change the volume of that to gallons. So if we want to change that, there's 128 ounces in a gallon. I know that from my history in a restaurant business. So we can divide that, and some quick math here. I got a total of 4,781.25 gallons. It's a lot of beer. We could even change it to kegs, but I don't think there's really a reason for that. Especially since most of the beer, unless you're ordering a craft, you can get pint beers as well. Or the 20 ounce, sometimes you sell them in 20 ounce. So they average, it's just guesstimating. But they usually sell in those 24 ounce cans, the big boys. So we're going to say here, with our guesstimation, 4,781.25 gallons. I wonder how close that is. Moving on to our third question here today. A little brain teaser. Some of these are pretty interesting. I'm a sucker for math. And my brain teaser, the question here is, there are 12 black socks and 12 white socks together in a drawer. It's dark and you can't tell the socks apart. Without being able to look at the socks in your hand, you need to find a matching pair. What's the smallest number of socks that you need to pull out of the drawer to be sure that you have at least one matching pair? I find this interesting. Your initial thought might be, okay, maybe 13. But that would be if you need one of each, right? Because it would be pretty hard to do, but you could pick out 12 random socks and they could all be the same color. So it's not 13. So if we're going to have to go lower. There are 3 different scenarios of our first 2 picks. And that's what's really going to give us our answer. So we could pick, for our first 2 socks, a white and a white, then we'd have our pair. Or a black and a black, then we'd also have a pair. Or we could do one of each. It could be a white, we pick a white, then we pick a black. Or we pick a black, then we pick a white. So we have 3 different scenarios here. We have 2 the same, a white and a white, or a black and a black. And then the third option would be one of each, a white and a black. So our answer here is going to be 3, because we're not sure at 2. We could have it, but there's only a 66% chance that we picked 2 socks of the same color, a white and a white or a black and a black. The other 33% is a white and a black. Now, no matter what color we pick for our third choice, whether we pick a black or a white, we have 2 of the same color. So if we start out with white and white and we pick a black, we have our match. If we started out with a black and a black and we pick a white, we have our match. If we started out with a white and a black, and then we picked a white, we have our white match. Or if we had a white and a black and we pick our black, we have a black match. So no matter what, as soon as you hit that third sock, you have to have a match. So there's 12 socks. We have 24 socks, 12 blacks, 12 whites in a drawer. Can't tell the socks apart because it's dark. The lowest number of socks that we can take is going to be 3 socks. 3 socks. That's going to be our answer. Hope you guys enjoyed, followed along. Appreciate your time.